Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March the 17th.
I'm Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia.
I'm Jeff Zayas in Napa, California, and I am wearing green.
And I'm Robert Taylor in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hey, everyone. I'm Duke Perico. On tonight's Android Journal, Google's new wireless service is going to utilize a VPN. A Sprint wants you so bad it's willing to pay any cancellation fees you might incur. And LG is making a phone to compete with Samsung's Galaxy Note. Looks like they're going to call it the Note. Hey, all this, our apps, and more. Welcome to episode 94, gang. How we doing?
Good evening.
All right.
I'm doing well. I drank some wine today.
Hey, Bruce, happy St. Patrick's Day, brother. I see you in your green there, man.
I got my green shirt on. Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah.
I got my green chapstick.
We get to pinch the heck out of Jeff and Robert. Absolutely.
Oh, no, I got green shorts on, buddy.
I've got a green thong on, too. Can you top that?
Hold it. I can. Look what I just pooped out.
Heaven help us.
He doesn't have hemorrhoids. He's got hemdroids.
Nice one.
Okay. All right. We've already lost audience. Yeah. We're for the first time ever. We're -7 viewers.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, let's talk about what's been happening with Android news this week, and we're going to start off here. You know, it's kind of leaked out a few weeks ago that Google was going to be in talks with Sprint and T-Mobile to roll out their own carrier project. This thing was called Nova. Now we're learning a little bit more about it. They're going to utilize a lot of wireless networks, and with this wireless network, they're going to be running their own VPN. That's the virtual private network, and this will make calls. I mean, this already tells us that we're probably talking Google Voice here, guys. And these Google Voice calls are going to be made over a wireless network. I'm pretty excited about this news. I think this sounds pretty promising. But, Jeff, I'm going to start with you on this one. What did you think when you read about this?
Well, you know, what I thought about was how the heck does anyone, like, find these little nuggets in the operating system before they're announced? You know, because I'm not looking for any kind of, you know, Google communication service on my settings or clicking through and, you know, pressing all this stuff. So, you know, kudos to someone who's actually can ferret this thing out and find it. But getting back to the real thing, I think it's great. But the proof is in the pudding. The handoff between wireless networks and Wi-Fi calling, how they're going to handle that is the thing. You know, is there going to be dead zones at dead spots? Will the call just pick up seamlessly? And will they stick with it? You know, is it going to be a project that is just going to continue to go forward, and they're going to, you know, be committed about it? Because you don't want to be changing carriers and then you have a problem. So I think it's the commitment from Google. If they're going to do it, do you have to sign a 2-year commitment with them? Is it all those other details? But I love where it's going. I absolutely love where it's going.
Robert, T-Mobile and Sprint, they're adequate in major cities, but I know you and myself don't necessarily live directly within a major city. I can tell you that Sprint sucks as a carrier here in Northeast Tennessee. Okay, T-Mobile actually is a little better, but it's still lacking compared to AT&T and Verizon. And Verizon rocks it here in this area. They bought up Alltel, and Alltel was spreading like crazy throughout a lot of Southwest Virginia. Does even making calls through a Wi-Fi network, do you think that's going to help Google win customers over to this service?
I think it's possible. I mean, this has kind of been tried a little bit before, but without much success. Maybe with Google's backing behind it would be a little bit more successful. As far as like T-Mobile and Sprint service, if you're in a major city, New Orleans proper, T-Mobile service is unbelievably reliable. It's great. Not so good inside the actual buildings. If you're in downtown, it does have some wall penetration problems, but generally on the street, it's very, very reliable. But if you're inside your building or inside your office and you've got Wi-Fi service in your office, hey, there's a lot to be said for that.
There are two types of service to be concerned with here. One is the service of the network. The other is customer service. Now tell me, guys, is Google known for great customer service? No.
Yeah,
They're going to have to really pick up the pace on customer service. I don't care what kind of carrier they sign with and go with. That service as far as the phone network is going to be one thing. Customer service is going to be quite another thing.
So, Bruce, will we see this going live right around Google I/O time, or is this out of ways?
No, I think that's probably a good calendar date as good a calendar date to guess as any. I wish them well, but let's face it. One of the things that you see, carriers touting is not, they tout two things: the size of their LTE network and their customer service. J.D. Power Customer Service Award went most recently to, not Verizon, went to AT&T. So customer service is important as well. Obviously, you got to have a good carrier, but if you've got good signal, but you got lousy customer service, that's no good either.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just dovetail off what Bruce is saying, because he's hit the nail on the head, which I didn't even think about customer service. But there's always something just a little off with Google. There's something that you can't quite figure out. It's not intuitive. I just hope that doesn't kind of creep into that kind of service as well. Because there's unexpected things that happen. Like, we all have been in this hangout many times, and just stuff happens, and you don't know why, right?
And you end up getting, when you Google it, you get 100 different suggestions. You never know which one is exactly right. But I will say this, while Google is lacking in customer service, the products that they do provide customer service support for, and I will say this one specifically, Google Apps for Business. Their customer support for Google Apps for Business is phenomenally good. They're very thorough, they're accurate, and they're quick. But again, it is very polished and a very small nugget in what is the very large Google sphere of things. So they would have to expand a lot.
So you're saying a paid service versus unpaid service has a different tier quality for support?
Substantially different.
I would disagree when it comes to Google hardware. My experiences with Google customer service against their hardware, specifically their Nexus devices, sucks. Basically, if you do get to talk to someone live, they will refer you to the FAQ that I've already been through twice. Okay? Yeah, so I do agree. Google's still got a lot to overcome. You would think that they would have learned by now, but they haven't. They really haven't. Hey, guys, let's move on. And speaking of Google and YouTube, have you guys seen the 360 videos that are out there? Here's the deal, guys. If you look at it from your PC, it's kind of boring. But let me see if I can do this really, really fast. And I'm going to pull up YouTube from my mobile device. There we go. And let's see if I hit play, what's going to happen here. Now, if you'll notice, let me turn the sound down. If you will notice, while this video is playing right here, I am moving my phone. This movement that you see is not the video playing. In other words, I am rotating my phone right now to give you the full 360-degree view. Okay, so I think this is kind of unique. All right, and I'm rolling around here. Let's see what these guys are doing. Oh, they're up in the air. Oh, I'm going to roll up. I want to see what their balloon looks like. So I'm tilting my phone up towards the sky so that I can catch a glimpse of that balloon. All right, now let's see how high up they are. I'm going to look down here. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a little sick to my stomach. All right, man. Enough of that in here. I'll rotate it sideways here, and maybe you can kind of get a better view of what it's like. Okay. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is this is pretty unique for a mobile experience. So my question out of the gate, Robert, is this a gimmick or is this truly an innovation?
I think it's both. Okay, that it's possible to be an innovation because it is neat that just from the photography standpoint and what it takes to deliver that kind of film, right? It is an innovation. But the truth of the matter is that how many people are going to be able to do this? It's not like just anybody can create a 360-degree film, right? So it is kind of gimmicky.
$500. There's a lot of cameras. I don't want to say a lot, but there's a few cameras on the market right now for less than $500 list price that are considered GoPro competitors that compete in that space, but they record in 360. In other words, you turn them on with a remote control or your phone, and they are recording a 360 degrees the whole time you're recording.
I've not seen this, but to me, I go back to we can't get people to do landscape versus portrait with their phone. How the heck are we going to get them to shoot decent video in 360? It is kind of a gimmick, if you ask me.
Hey, Bruce, same question, man. Gimmick or innovation?
Gimmick. How many times have I even used panorama on my phone? I mean, you're looking at this. What did I miss? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? You know, I mean, if somebody's taking a shot, they're focusing on what they want you to see. You know, so now I've got to, you know, wonder what I missed. You know, so I'm looking down here. It's gimmick as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of like 3D TV all over again. That's just my thought.
Jeff, if you bought this, would you take it back?
Of course I would. I would not buy it to begin with. That's number one. But, you know, I could see it for certain applications, real estate, you know, some other things for maybe museums or something like that for exploring that way, but not for the general public. For, you know, even if you had a drone, you probably don't even want a 360 camera because you don't want to see that. You know, it's stupid to see all that stuff. So, you know, in certain instances, yes, but you know, not for, you know, I don't think you want to bring it to your, you know, Jumpy Jim 360 birthday party, you know, and watch them kids jump all over. Oh, look, there's a kid jumping over there. Oh, there's a.
What if it came with surround sound? So you're looking at this thing and you hear this noise, and so you. Where is he going?
Where did that noise go? Where's that gunshot? Boom.
But you know what?
You know, but I did a quick little winery review today, and I uploaded my review to YouTube like I normally do. And I go to look at it, and it is the quality was 360, right? 360p, and it took it, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours to have it processed where I could watch it in HD. You know, so I can't imagine all the glitches are going to be with this 360 camera, where people are going to be showing stuff up there and saying, "Oh, why can't I move it around?" You know, I don't know. It's not for me.
Realtors, I've been to realtor sites, and they've a lot of times they use a flash script where they go into a house and they record a house, you know, with all of these angles and views, and then through the flash script, I can kind of take a tour, and I can go from the kitchen to the den to the bedroom into the bathroom, take a whiz, you know. I guess the point that I'm trying to make wouldn't you see this as being very, very handy for people who sell real estate to be able to put these things up on YouTube, embed them into their realtor websites to give people a better experience on what the inside of the home looks like?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
Maybe if they added night vision so you could spot the roaches to see if it had bug infested.
Yeah, no, for certain applications, for unique architecture, museums, docents kind of thing, real estate spec things, and even I could perhaps stadiums where you can pick out your seating, or small venues or restaurants, things like that. More maybe perhaps, but not really for personal use. It just doesn't make sense to me.
My wife and I got into spelunking a little bit, and it is kind of interesting to go into the caves. And obviously, you're looking up, you're looking down, you're looking left and right in all different sorts of ways. And certainly, this kind of photo application would apply there. But again, the purpose of what the photographer is doing is trying to focus your attention to a particular thing. Shifting the attention or shifting the control to the user removes the focus of what the photographer was trying to get you to see. I can see where in like you say, in real estate, or in my case, like the cave diving, going down in the caves, you're looking all over the place, and there's some practical application for those types of things. But still, it's very gimmicky and definitely not going to be for the general public, as Jeff has already highlighted.
Yeah, one last thing. Do you think this is an extension of Street View on maps? Where they have the cars taking all 360 wise driving around, and you can see that. It's kind of like an offshoot of that. Do you think this is what they're...
Yeah, I think this was born out of Street View, to be honest with you, Jeff. I really do. Yeah.
But again, with Street View, the thing about Street View is there's no particular focus point. You're going down a street, and you might look left or you might look right. That particular application lends itself to being able to rotate the view that you see. That makes sense. But generally, a video is taken for one particular focal point, not a global view of what happens to be in that area, as a general rule.
All right, I'm going to move on. I found it interesting, but honestly, my jury is out as to whether this is really innovation or just a gimmick. We'll have to wait and see. Hey, guys, moving on. Sprint announced this week that they will pay any fees that you might incur to get you out of your contract and onto Sprint's network. Recently it was revealed that T-Mobile has surpassed Sprint in customers now, which makes it the third largest carrier in the U.S., and it's still trailing significantly behind AT&T and Verizon. But Sprint is needing customers. They're struggling. Maybe Google can help them. Maybe they can. I don't know. But listen, if Sprint can afford to do this certainly caught my attention. When I saw this headline, guys, this caught my attention. Now, maybe if I switched and went with Sprint, I'd be very unhappy. But, if I was in a contract and I was very unhappy in my contract, Sprint might win a customer or two. What do you think about this, Jeff?
Well, I think Sprint must be hurting pretty big time. That's number one. They're not growing like they think. They've been all promoting, I'll cut your bill in half, all this other stuff. So they've been really going down the path of, trying to secure new customers. And the only way they can secure new customers now is to steal them from someplace else. And that's what they're trying to do. And I think it's good for the competition that they are doing this. But I haven't looked at the coverage for Sprint for for myself. You know, and they don't seem to have great coverage, so I guess they're just trying to steal the customer, you know, and they're going to pay you back with an American Express reward card or something. So they probably worked out some kind of deal with American Express to kind of cut, you know, the payment size. So you would have to use it because American Express has the highest, you know, transaction fee. So maybe they worked out some kind of other deals. And you're right, maybe Google's helping them as well.
Hey, Robert, what do you think, man?
Well, you know, we go back to our first discussion this evening about coverage. You know, Sprint really has been paring down their towers. They've done it here in the New Orleans area over the last year. It's very strange. You know, they're cutting back some of their services. They dropped the Nextel push-to-talk service. That's kind of gone the way of the dodo bird. They've cut back some of their towers. Their coverage is not, you know, stellar at all in a lot of cases. And so now they've fallen to number 4 because they don't offer the same services they used to anymore. Now they're number 4, and now they're scrambling to try and get their position back. But I think what happens, you know, when you launch a rocket, and I believe that T-Mobile's attack plan on becoming a primary Big 3 carrier was really a rocket launch. You can't stop a rocket when it's gone. I think Sprint is in deep, deep doo-doo, and this is a last gasp to try and latch on to customers and get customers to come back. But let's face it, most of the carriers had some kind of we'll pay your termination fee, you know, previously at one point or another.
This is the WWE of carrier fights. Listen, this is going on. T-Mobile is doing exactly the same thing. Sprint is really, I think, responding to T-Mobile's, and you're looking at my screen here. They'll pay your early termination fees, and they'll pay it with a Visa prepaid card. I don't know what bank card Sprint negotiated with, but this is tit for tat. And now T-Mobile's come out with this new deal for your data, where they'll let you carry over your data for a 12-month period, and so you know this is a dogfight here.
Yeah, but it's a dogfight where I think Sprint is going to lose. You know, this is kind of the first guy to the mat is going to win, and I think T-Mobile was the first to the mat. They were the first one to say we're the uncarrier. We're going to pay termination fee. We're going to let you roll your data over. We're going to, you know, all of these things. T-Mobile has stepped up their game on, and Sprint is really feeling the pain now. And I think it may even be too late for Sprint to recover and come back.
Don't you think T-Mobile's CEO's got a little bit better reputation and popularity in the field as well? I mean, he's the one, like you said, all the things he rolled out, you know, it's pretty strong. So who's going to buy Sprint?
Yeah, who is?
Well, it's going to be, if you know, it would be Google, right? I mean, Google would be the one who'd want to break into the carrier and deliver something. So
they're negotiating their MVNO with Sprint, and then they're going to absorb Sprint. Is that what you're saying? Is this a plan?
Like, you know, why not? You know, backdoor it. You know, get that FCC license directly from them.
You heard it first on Tech and Coffee.
Do you really think the FCC will allow Google to buy Sprint and T-Mobile?
Oh, I think they would definitely allow them. There would be no monopoly thing. I think it would be more of a difficulty for two carriers, major carriers, to combine than another company that's not in that arena to buy that company. So I don't know. I mean, just look at, you know, all the stuff that's going on between Time Warner and Comcast, right? You know, they're different coasts. They're trying to, you know, buy each other out, or Comcast is trying to buy them, and you know, there's catching a lot of flack for it. So I would imagine if T-Mobile and Sprint tried to combine, it would. I don't know how that would go. What do you guys think?
I don't see it happening.
It would be. I would think it would be very difficult to happen on a technological standpoint too, because Sprint is CDMA, whereas T-Mobile is GSM. So you got to add that into the mix, and that makes That kind of makes for a mess of things. Sprint has not done well, and for Google to consider taking over Sprint, I would be a little bit surprised with that. Why would you buy the absolute bottom of the barrel? I think T-Mobile is a much more lucrative target than what Sprint would be.
Well, I think if you're going for worldwide domination, GSM is going to be a whole lot better than CDMA. Okay.
Agreed.
Hey guys, it's leaked out here that looks like LG is going to be coming to market with a Note of its own. We don't know a whole lot about what this Note's going to look like at this time, but I guess what's got me is evidently they're going to call it the Note. Okay, it's built to compete with the Samsung Note and the iPhone 6. I'll tell you what, this all leads back to just stuff that kills me, man. How do they come up with these phone names? Okay, I mean, you know, the HTC One, the HTC One M7, the HTC One M8. You know, there seems to be no imagination whatsoever when it comes to naming these things. Hey, let's see. Jeff, you just bought that LG G3. Does when you read something like this, do you think, maybe I pulled the trigger too soon, or do you not really care?
I don't really care at this point because it took, you know, my brain is about this big to begin with. For the listeners, I'm doing the size of a peanut, maybe a walnut. I have a walnut brain. So it took me so long to make this decision. They might be calling it the Notebook by the time I decided to buy something else from LG. So I'm happy with what I purchased, but you know, it seems that, you know, everyone wants to have some kind of stylus, and I don't know the practicality of it. I don't see it, but I never had the original Note, so I wouldn't, you know the feeling of knowing that feeling. But I personally don't think I made a bad decision in how with the LG G3 based on what I paid for and how everything turned out. So no, I'm not worried about I'm not looking for the Note or the LG G4 or LG G Pro or LG GG or the new movie GG with LG. None of that stuff. So no, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Hey Bruce, LG's made a lot of large phones in the past. A lot of them, some of them were sold in the States, but they never really caught on just because they were square a lot of times. Instead of they were more like, you know, a box shape. Do you think LG's learned enough now, you know, through their G series, through the Nexus devices? Can they build a winner in a large screen phablet?
It's going to have to look a whole lot better than these pieces of junk here that you were talking about square. Look at that bezel at the top and the bottom. So, you know, I don't think they would try to do anything else like that. I mean, obviously, this is a losing proposition from the get-go when you look at these particular devices. But you know, I'm wondering really. You know, there's been a lot of discussion over the last couple of years, ever since the original Note came out. What is the optimum size for phones? And so, you know, iPhones settle down to, you know, 4.7 inches, and then what is it? Is the iOS 6 Plus, is that 5.5? Is that what that is? Or, but you know, so I don't know. I don't think the market's going to be really good for you know, larger devices than what we already have out there. So. Yeah, I don't know if they can fragment their market. I think they've got a good product with the LG G3. Do they need to even have something in this larger phablet space? I don't think so.
Well, you know, I would think that they do. And the example that I'm going to give for that is just what we've seen. We've seen two iPhones with a large device, and then, you know, what is the smaller ones right around 5 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
4.7, something like that. I can't recall now. You look at Samsung; they've got two flagships. They've got the You know, the S5, the S6, and you know now they're throwing in the edges, but they've also got a large display device that has been their Note series. Both of those phones have sold very successfully, I might add. So I think it makes sense, you know, if someone's looking for a large device, they're not going to consider LG. They're going to migrate right to the Samsung because LG doesn't offer that.
Yeah, but you know, I just while we were talking, I was kind of looking, just seeing what were the sales of LG phones last year, and based on the G3, its popularity, they sold 25% more phones based on that popularity of the G3. So they're probably on a little bit of a high from making a winner or getting a winner by some standards. So maybe they're like pulling the Samsung, thinking, we can compete in this space. Let's just keep on throwing a lot of stuff out there, and that might not be the best approach.
Well, and don't forget that the G2 was actually fairly successful, not nearly as much as the G3, don't get me wrong, but it was fairly successful. So they had that little bit of climb, and then with the G3, with the bigger, nicer camera, big jump. And, you know, they might be stepping off in deep doo-doo. It is possible.
All right, guys, anything else on the Samsung? This one caught me off guard when I read this yesterday, guys. Microsoft's Assistant software, better known as Cortana. You know, everybody that's used it, and I haven't. I want to be the first. I want to be on record right here to say I don't know what I'm talking about. But everything that I've read and, you know, I've seen several podcasts, people have used it, and they're so impressed with the Cortana software. And it looks like Microsoft is going to be making this probably towards the end of this year. They're going to make it available for both iOS and Android. I guess my question to you, Robert, what does Microsoft have to gain from this approach of putting their Cortana digital voice assistant on iOS and Android?
What is the number one commodity in the world today?
Data.
Data. Where do you get your data from? Well, of course, from searches. We know that, you know, searches, but Bing is not the greatest of search engines by today's standards. But if you get people asking Cortana for how to get to a pizza joint, or where's the nearest bookstore, or how to get to a particular address, make an appointment, whatever, you're accumulating data. They're learning lessons from Google, whether that your opinion of that is good or bad. They're learning lessons from Google and realizing that it is not just selling software that makes the company successful today. It is the accumulation of data, anonymous or otherwise. It is the aggregation of that data. That's what Microsoft has to benefit from.
Okay. Jeff, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, you know, and crazily enough, I'm going to agree with Robert, but I'm going to make it a little left-hand turn and say, you know, I have a killer product that just in my Windows phone has no market penetration. People don't know about it. Let me put it out there for other people to really see it, because no one's really looking at it in the Windows phone. So let's put it out there on the Android and iOS operating system. Let's get a little traction, get a little buzz going about Microsoft again, and we will benefit from it. So I think it's a smart move, and the competition for these smart assistants is just heating up. And again, who wins? We win. We're going to be big winners. And if Cortana works better than Google now, guess what I'll be using? Cortana.
Hey, Bruce, you know, Google now has just run off and left Siri when it comes to just, you know, all that Google can do now. And with the pending 5.1 that's coming, Google now is going to do even more. You're actually going to be able to send Hangout messages and never poke the front of your device, okay? I guess the question I've got is, since Google now is very tightly integrated within Android, how can Cortana compete
Well, I mean, you yourself said some of the reviews you've heard people have liked Cortana. So, I mean, I haven't used Cortana either. I have to make full disclosure there. So, I don't know what some people might like about it better. Would there be some things that you would use Google Now for, some things you'd use Cortana for, and kind of use both of them depending on what you wanted to do? But I could not agree more with both sentiments expressed by Robert and Jeff. They hit the two things that came to my mind. One, the gathering of data, and the other, trying to get people to look a little more closely at the Windows Phone platform by showing them a significant part of that platform, which is Cortana.
Okay. All right, man. I'm looking forward to trying it myself, and hurry up, Microsoft. Get it on Android. Hey, guys, let's talk about the S6 Edge, and we kind of knew this. And by the way, I have not seen. I wanted to look tonight before we went on air, and I didn't have a chance. Does anyone know the retail price of the S6 Edge? I have not come across that anywhere. I haven't seen it, but evidently to produce the Edge takes quite a bit of time, and when we're talking about time, we're also talking about money. And I just want to throw this out, Jeff. Can Samsung make a profitable device when you're spending, 4 to 6 hours to make a display to go on a phone?
Yeah, if Apple can spend 9 hours making a wristband for their Apple Watch, I guess you can. I think, but the issue is that since it's all one AMOLED screen, that performance-wise it's better, and they can access it better for the Edge side and the icons and things like that, and it's how they want to build it instead of having an Edge display and a flat screen display. So they had to go with one screen. So can they make money? Yeah, I think they can, but for me, I think Samsung is so big, and sometimes they make these decisions that they miss the marketplace, and they make all these commitments to get this thing done, get this product out there without really knowing if it's going to have the traction. So I don't know if they're going to make money on it, but they're building it themselves, so maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, let me jump in real quick with the price of this phone. Just real quick, starting at $851. Starting at.
That's like, I think I'll buy a Dell laptop.
Yeah.
Well, that's the unsubsidized price. I mean, this is Samsung's skill set here: screens, memory, all that stuff. So I think it's all about return on investment, and it depends on how much this thing sells, whether they can make money on it. But if anybody can make money on a curved display, Samsung's the only one who could. And if there were any other companies, if this curved display takes off, and other hardware manufacturers want to have a curved display, guess where they're going to get it from? They're going to get it from Samsung, because they're the ones who can do it and do it right, and do it the cheapest, and get it done the quickest. Even if it takes more time and more money, the return on investment is going to be based on how many of these units they can sell and how popular it gets.
I think right now we're seeing Samsung struggle to make these curved displays for their device, but yes, I think they will perfect it. I think we're going to see these curved displays on other Samsung devices and other devices that don't say Galaxy on them. I agree with you 100%, Bruce. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Hey, let's move on here. Android 5.1, guys. We have seen so many problems with the 5.0 release. I mean, it's been crazy, and I guess 5.1 started rolling out. I haven't seen it for my Nexus device yet. Robert, have you seen it for either one of your tablets? Okay.
Either one.
Yeah, it sounds as if there's a big issue. Really, this whole 5.1 lollipop deployment, in my opinion, has been a disaster. But we're starting to see, people that are getting lollipop, they're still reporting some memory leak issues. There's just still some issues. Robert, talk to me, man. What's up here? What's going on?
I think we come back to, again, a subject of an earlier article, Google support. What is their customer service like in this area? It's virtually non-existent. I mean, if you try to just search for lollipop errors for Nexus 7, you would be amazed at the multitude of people who have screamed and hollered of how bad it is and how they want to go back to KitKat. So what's Google's response? Silence. That's a problem. That we're reaching a point of deployment now that Google cannot continue to be silent, and this is now the third iteration of Lollipop, and they still can't get it right, and they're not offering any advice to people on how to get it right or when it will be made right. That's a bad, bad thing.
I know several of the OEMs, have resisted upgrading to, even a lot of them who promised that they would be updating the Lollipop, within so many months. HTC's one of them. They went back on their word, and the reason why they did is because there's been so many, random restarts, the memory leaks, so forth, etc. This is not good. Jeff, are you running Lollipop on that G3?
No, I am not, and I guess I'm lucky that I am not. Yeah, but this harks back to our first conversation about Google VPN, right? And this is not to agree with Robert, but a systemic problem when you have and you have something as critical as your phone, which is it's no longer a nicety; it's a necessity for a lot of people, right? It is a necessity, and it should be just an out-of-the-box, rock-solid appliance that just works. You just don't want things to randomly reboot, or you lose Bluetooth connectivity in your car, or you have, it's just slow to respond, like you said, memory leaks and things like that. So. No, I think Google does have to throw some research and money at it and get it down and test it and do a much better job of I know they want to rush to release things, but they have to have it pretty rock solid. It's not, it's not good when this stuff continuously happens. And it could be something as simple as what's going on with material design.
And we're not even talking about the HTCs and the LGs and all the different manufacturers. We're talking about with Google's own devices, the Nexuses of the world, the 5, 6, and 7s, and then it's a mess, and they can't get it right for themselves. How are the manufacturers then supposed to support and deploy? Very, very difficult, messy situation.
I've been a Nexus supporter for several years now. I've owned a few Nexus devices, but I'm beginning to feel like I'm paying a premium price for a Nexus device, and quite frankly, I am Google's guinea pig, and it's up to me and other Nexus users to let Google see the bug reports and fix everything, so that by the time that Bruce gets it for his Samsung and Jeff gets it for his LG, the kinks have been worked out. And I feel like I'm paying a premium price to get screwed a lot of times.
And we thank you for that, Duke. We honestly thank you.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? Better you than me?
Maybe it is. Maybe
no, but that is, and that was the selling point of Nexus. You get the latest version all the time, right? You're the first one to get the upgrade, and that was a great thing at one point. But now it's turning into a little bit of a detriment, and you are on the bleeding edge, and sometimes you're gonna, your blood's going to be a little bit greener than most people's right now.
Yeah, but don't make me the sacrificial lamb, especially with a core piece of equipment like my phone. Just you can't do that. This is kind of slipshod, and it's now like I said, the third iteration of Lollipop, and it's still not right on Google's own devices. That's a problem. I don't mind paying a premium price for a premium product, but I need to have the experience. You can't get the experience right.
When I look at the current line of Nexus devices from especially like HTC, and you see the battery swelling and the backs popping off, and you look at those hardware issues, and then you look at all the random restarts generated from the latest Lollipop, I'll tell you what, guys, it's kind of frustrating to this particular Google fanboy. That's all I've got to say. Hey gang, who in the world are we? We are Tech and Coffee. If you want to head over to techandcoffee.info, and hey man, come hang out with us. We are a daily hangout. Love to get together and talk tech. We drink coffee, we drink soft drinks, we drink whatever, but most of us do drink coffee. We love hanging out talking about the latest in tech news, and we pretty much cover the spectrum. A lot of Linux lovers. We've got a few Apples. If you're an Apple user, you probably need to come in and defend the few Apple Mac lovers that attend Tech and Coffee. But hey, man, hey, Windows lovers. We've got a lot of people who use Windows, live in SharePoint. Hey, come hang out with us, daggone it. That's what I'm trying to get to. We love talking tech, so head on over to techandcoffee.info. Click on the coffee cup. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook, Tech and Coffee 1. Our YouTube channel is Tech and Coffee. Hey, our favorite social network is Google+. Search for Tech and Coffee. Look for that beautiful TNC logo. Hey, if you're on Twitter, you want us to respond to you, we ask that you please use the hashtag Tech and Coffee. Hey guys, let's talk apps. And Bruce, what do you got for us, man?
All right. First of all, let me give you a little stock tip. I saw a tweet while I was eating pizza for supper. If you buy a new Motorola X, this is the second generation from Motorola. I think it's Moto Maker is the site. They are throwing in a Moto E second generation 3G version in with it. So just a little deal there for you. So I have to provide a full disclosure here, and I'm gonna share my screen first and let you know that I used to work for Chipotle. No, I never did work for Chipotle, but the first time I ever ate in a Chipotle was in Dallas, Texas, and I saw this scooter with the Chipotle box on the back, and I got the guy I was with to snap a picture of me there. So I never did Chipotle deliveries, but my app is the Chipotle app, and so I'm going to share my screen and show you that a little bit. You know, there's a lot of food apps. So there's apps for Chick-fil-A, there's apps for McDonald's and Burger King, and Lord, look at all the pizza apps there are, Domino's and Papa John's and everything. But I'm gonna show you the Chipotle app here, and it's really an elegantly designed app. It's very very nice looking app. And let me go ahead and hide this little other thing that's blocking some of the app there. But so this app, obviously, like all other apps that are restaurants, it knows where you are. I've taken the time to set up an account here. But just let me just show you a couple things. Chipotle's is one of those companies that's very conscious about the food they eat and the quality that they do. You know, my wife is a vegetarian, so if we go to Chipotle, she gets black beans and rice, and I get. Let me go ahead and switch this thing around. So it's. Boy, this thing is really jumping around on me here. So anyway, one of the things that most people like to get at Chipotle's is the burrito, and you can get the burrito wrapped in a tortilla there, or you can get the burrito bowl. I get the burrito bowl because I just like to load it up. But not only do they have the menu, but they have the nutrition, and so this is not unusual. If you tap on the burrito bowl, you can see all the nutritional information about it, serving size, and things like that. But then it's also got allergy information, and this is really important because there are people who are allergic to different things. So if you're on a gluten-free diet, or you need to be aware of certain things like that. So all of that is there. And if you want to go ahead and order, the ordering system is really good. I can click order now. Now this is really neat. Look at this thing that popped up. Sorry, no carnitas. Due to supply constraints, we are having difficulty finding a source for our responsibly raised pork. Now, I don't know what those pigs look like or what it's like on their farm, but they are very conscious about the products that they use. So they can't find any responsibly raised pork, and they say, trust us, we're just as disappointed as you are. As soon as we get back, we'll let the world know. So you tap on, and you get to the menu. So if I was going to get the burrito bowl, and I can decide, okay, I want chicken in it, and let's throw a little bit of steak in it too. Let's just go really meaty here, and let's see, let's continue. And of course, if you've ever been there, you know I like the brown rice, I like the black beans, I like the fresh tomato salsa myself personally. A little sour cream, a little cheese, a little guac. You know, a little extra for the guac, but I want to tell you the guac really makes a difference on that burrito bowl. And then you can go ahead and pick your sides too and your drink. But it's really good. So with this app, you can actually order it, and then it's ready when you get to the store and pick it up. You can do that with Taco Bell's new app as well. But I really like Chipotle's. There's a brand new Chipotle's that opened up in Melbourne, Florida. We finally got a Chipotle's here in Lynchburg a couple of years ago. It was instantly popular. It's right on Wards Road, very close to Liberty University. A lot of students love going there to eat. So my app of the week is the Chipotle app. Try it. You'll like it.
I am so hungry now. Dude,
I know. One thing I do like about Chipotle, they try to keep like all the food is locally grown. They try to keep it as local as possible, so it's sustainable,
right.
Which is a nice thing.
That water, that $2.35 for a bottle of water there, it must be locally grown too there, Jeff.
Probably.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, what you got for us, man?
Well, as you guys know, I've been playing. I recently was lucky enough to get a GoPro, so I'm gonna share the screen app for my GoPro app. Hold on, real quick.
That GoPro's lagging, Jeff.
Yeah, I think Jeff just got frozen.
He just went amateur. He went from the pro to an amateur.
Yeah, that Go Amateur is something else there, Jeff.
Oh,
hey, Robert, while Jeff's getting it straightened out, go for it, man.
I tell you what, while Jeff gets that, I will go for it. I actually found myself in the unenviable position of having to sit waiting in a doctor's office. So this week, my app is one that you will not see me do very often because I don't do very much gaming, but my son turned me on to this game knowing that I am the trivia addict that I am. So let me share my screen. My app this week, and this is it will addict you unbelievably, is Trivia Crack, and it is appropriately named. You start playing this game, it is simply like the game Trivial Pursuit. It is fantastic. You can play multiple players or random players. I have several games going on right now, as you see here. Here I'll just click one, and I'm going to play a game. I spin. It goes around, and I get a category, and when it finds the category, this one happens to be history. It's a doggone shame that I know the icons already. Who helped the South Vietnamese fight against the North Vietnamese? The United States. And I can continue. If I get 3 correct in a row, I can answer a question and get the topic character. If I get all 6 of the characters, I win that game. I can play as many people as I have lives to play, and you start with 10 lives to actually play. it is just a lot of fun. The game goes very, very quickly. The one thing that I don't like is this app, Trivia Crack, is riddled with advertisements. And yes, there's a paid version of the game that you can remove some of the advertisements, but then they start with the in-app purchases like coins and extra lives and all of that other nonsense. However, the game itself, even in the free version and putting up with the ads, it plays very, very well. I ended up sitting waiting for the doctor appointment right at about 2 hours at one point, and it went by in a blink of an eye because I was sitting there playing Trivia Crack the whole time. So if you've got some time to kill and you're a trivia buff like I am, take a moment, try Trivia Crack. It's in the Google Play Store, and you will become as addicted as I am. That's my app for the week, Trivia Crack.
Very good, Robert. And I just got to say really quick, you just reminded me, my wife went in for surgery at the hospital one time, and I had my phone, an extra battery pack, and about 5 movies. And, you know, finally, it was a very long surgery, and my wife came out, and she was in recovery, and I went back to see her. She said, I am so sorry you had to stay up here all day. And I just didn't have the heart to tell her that I actually got to sit in a corner and really enjoy entertainment from my phone, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Jeff, welcome back, man. You want to try it again, brother?
Yeah, what happened? Just, you know, this is a great thing about Google Hangouts. And when I went to go to share my screen from my second screen on my PC, everything just went beep, crashed the Hangouts and everything. So I'm going to give this really quick. Again, I'm going to instead of showing the screen print, I'm just going to talk about the GoPro really quick and the GoPro app. It's the GoPro app. It has about 75,000 downloads on it. It's been recommended, I think, 17,000 times. So this is the GoPro, right? And let me show you why I got the GoPro app. I don't know if you can see the size of that little tiny little LED light, little screen there. That tells you what mode you're in. It's about the size of my thumbnail, and the print on that thing is just crazy. It is so small you can't even see it. So since I have the Hero Black, it comes with Wi-Fi, and you can control it on your phone. So that's what basically I use the GoPro app to do, is to set all the settings, do the preview, and do all that. So right now, let's see if this will work. I'm going to set up my phone here, go to my phone really fast. I don't know if you can see that, but it says it's already recognized my GoPro's in Wi-Fi mode. You can then connect to it, and you see a live preview in Wi-Fi, and then you can control all the attributes of the camera. So I can change the settings, the frame rate, everything you need to do. If I was going to try to do that on this little camera deal here, holy moly, that would be like crazy. I could not see the frame rate. I couldn't see the white balance. I wouldn't even see what the picture looked like. So being able to have the Wi-Fi app for the GoPro is just stellar. So you can control it. Then you can just start recording remotely. You can change into burst mode, time-lapse mode, all those things that are kind of cool, and without making infinite number of mistakes trying to use the little button to kind of roll through it. So I like the GoPro. The thing that was a problem was this is my third one, and the third one seems to be the charm. Everything works perfectly. The video is stellar, but my app of the week is the GoPro app that works Wi-Fi with the GoPro has Wi-Fi, and you're able to control it perfectly, and it's like the best thing ever. See this thing. So that's my quick app. Sorry, I crashed and burned earlier, but that's why Google VPN will be very interesting.
Is the app free?
The app is free.
All right. Very good, Jeff. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, this is going to be a really, really quick review. This is going to be Scanner Radio. This is not the Scanner Radio Pro, the paid version that you can pay to have ads removed. But listen, this is the type of app that I don't use it every day. But I'll tell you, last spring, a tornado came within about a half mile of my house. And I got an alert on my phone. I went to my basement, and with my phone, I opened up my local county emergency services and was kind of kept informed of everything that was going on around me. And, you know, luckily no damage here, but I had this, and you guys are probably well aware, especially you guys who watch the show quite often, you know that here where I live, we've seen a whole lot of winter weather this year. And if I wanted to know road conditions rather than open up a weather app and so forth, etc., I turn to this. If you'll notice right here, this is actually the start screen when you launch the app. And the reason why I have to make this quick is I only have 8% battery life left on my device here. But if you'll notice, the last one that I had open down here in yellow is this is my local fire and emergency service, and I've hit the play button, and let's crank it up here. And I don't know if anybody's gonna, you know, if they're talking about anything right now or not, but basically it's just a great way to listen to the scanners around you. You don't have to listen locally. If you want to listen to Chicago or New York or Los Angeles or you know, Napa or Lynchburg or New Orleans, it's available to do that. And very handy app, like I say, in inclement weather or local emergencies. It's a great app to have close by on your Android device. Here again, this is Scanner Radio. The free version has advertising, and you can there you go. You can spring for the pro version and avoid the advertising. And that's my app this week, guys.
How does it? One quick question: how does it get the stream? Is it a stream that's from the police department, or the? How do they get it to the app? You know what I mean?
Just about basically what you've got now, Jeff, is about all of these police channels. People broadcast them. Their services, in the case of Scanner Radio, they're using a service called Broadcastify. So if you just want to do it from your, Jeff, if you'd like to experience it from your browser, open up broadcastify.com, search for what you're searching for, push the play button, and experience it. But the app itself is Scanner Radio. There are several out there. I've used 2 or 3. For some reason, I can't tell you why, I keep coming back to Scanner Radio. I seem to like it better than a lot out there. So, hey, guys, if you don't have anything else, we went just a little bit over tonight, so let me close this one out. You guys have a great week. We're going to catch you in 7. Hey, peace out, everybody.